And welcome back to ESPN Matchday Live. SPL action, centre stage, the first Edinburgh derby of the season. Hearts 1, Hibs 0 is the half-time score, and Mark Hateley's here in the studio. Fair reflection on the play? Are you going to argue about that?
No, I'd suggest so. I think Hearts have had pretty much of the possession, but on saying that sounds a contradiction, but I think Hibs have had the two best chances with O'Connor and Thornhill. Towards the end there, Thornhill at fault for the goal getting caught, but I think Paulo Sergio will be pleased with the way his team has played in the first half. Everything
to play for, a single goal separating the sides at the moment. And what was your opinion, your assessment of the build-up here?
Well, I was in the same opinion as Stephen in the commentary there. It was a dreadful ball to give out to Thornhill here, who gets caught on the ball. And you see, as soon as you lose the ball, how many Hearts players are actually up the field. You know, the ball goes wide, but it's a great cutback. And Stevenson, it's just a formality.
There's plenty of people there, isn't there?
Absolutely. That's what happens. That's what happens when you lose the ball that far, well, in your own half or that far up. If in Hearts' case, then you're always going to have attackers there, but there's also going to be defenders there. But the cutback from Hamill is superb, and Stevenson, that's a run-of-the-mill finish for that young man.
Okay, he got the goal, but was he lucky not to see a red card?
Very much so.
Was this not a fair challenge, but a yellow card challenge or a red card challenge?
This is a rash challenge. It's a very, very dangerous challenge. That's, you know, I've seen legs being broke, flying in like this. I mean, he's stretching. Ian Murray is a committed player anyway, and that is a rash challenge. It looks worse every time you see it.
That is endangering the safety of an opponent.
It's a leg breaker, and I think he was very fortunate there to get the yellow card.
As you say, when you look at these things in slow motion 3 or 4 times, it does seem to get worse every time. From a referee's position, is he...
Well, the referee's right on top of it.
I know, but given the benefit of the doubt in terms of the...
Yeah, but he's...
Wow.
It's so late. It's so late. Craig Thompson's looking right down the barrel at that as well. And I think when that yellow comes out, I think Stevenson is relieved it is the yellow.
Yeah, so riding their luck there.
Riding the luck, yeah.
OK, so Hibs have had chances.
Yes.
And they'll argue they're still well in this match.
Well, absolutely. I think the fact that for Hibs they haven't got Sproul and Thornhill high enough up the park to get balls into the box. See, the ball into the box there for Gary O'Connor is a difficult header to put away. It's not much pace on the ball, and he's got to generate all the pace through his neck. The balls that have been coming into Ogogo and O'Connor have not been from further up the pitch. This is great work by Thornhill, trying to make amends for his mistake at the goal. But yet again, you're in these positions. You must make the goalkeeper make saves in them positions.
So there's a few encouraging signs for Hibs for the second 45 minutes. What would you be saying? What would you be saying in Hibs dressing room? What does Colin Calderwood has got a poor record at the moment. You know, he needs something. He needs something to change.
I think they need to get their wider man further forward. I think for the two big guys in the middle of the park, I think what they have to do is get it into the last third and get it into the box, because that's where Gary O'Connor thrives from. I think for Hearts, I think you're looking at David Templeton, Rudy Scatchell on the bench, influential players that can change games. But at the moment, Hearts don't need to change anything. I think the only thing that they need to look at is the fact of supporting Stevenson up the lone striker, getting runners from midfield. We saw Black do it a little bit on a few occasions, but Abua, for me, is more dangerous when he gets into the box.
Thanks, Mark. Second half is on the way. Everything to play for. It's the first Edinburgh derby of the season. We'll be back in a few minutes' time. Hearts 1, Hibs 0 at Tynecastle in the first SPL Edinburgh derby of the season has our attention. Let's get a final thought out of the second half from Mark Hateley. Should there have been a penalty appeal here?
Well, I think it would have been very harsh. We're looking at Stevenson again. That's all we've talked about at half-time, isn't it? Helping back.
Referee's got to see through a crowd of players, but when you look at this here,
it's his body's momentum, though. I think it's more ball to hand. I think Stephen said in commentary that he thought the ball is to hand and not hand to ball. And I think if that's going to be a penalty, it's going to be a very, very harsh decision. I think the referee probably got that spot on.
You know, when we see those incidents 4 or 5 times, it's very, very easy, and the referee has to see them right there. Just to confirm that Celtic won at St Mirren by 2 goals to 0.